What is going on, everybody, and welcome to part 9, I think, of the Deep Learning with the Halite AI Competition 3 2018. All right, let's go. So, what we've been working on is doing machine learning with Halite 3, and at least where we left off, we've got some code here. And we figured out how to at least save the frame basically from the game, at least of the information that we're curious in. We visualized it. We saw, okay, this is looking like what we want, except for the flippy stuff. But then we figured out what's going on there. Now we're ready to actually create and save the data. So we need to come up with some sort of principle to why we would want to save or not some data. Now, historically, I've done this before with like an evolutionary based model, and if you just go off of, let's say, the best between your model, that allows for the model to actually get worse over time. So if you train a model and that new model actually sucks for whatever reason, maybe it overfit or whatever, and then you go back and start playing some games, you're still going to have winning games, but actually, let's say the total Halite collected or whatever is going to be worse than before. And we don't want that. So instead, what I think I would rather go with is, rather than an evolutionary based model as in, who wins, instead what we should do is go off of some sort of threshold of Halite. That's what this entire game is about anyways. It's all about the Halite. So that's what I'd like to do. Now, a couple of things, so for example, it's a little challenging for the bot. Like, the bot never actually knows when the game is over because of the way Halite is set up, and it's kind of unfortunate. But we can know in advance how many turns there will be given a game size. So, for example, let me just zoom in a little bit here. I guess what I'll do is I'll just make, because later we could query, so the bot can query the game map, and then we can get the size of the game map, which will always be square. And then what we can do is have some sort of variable here called like map settings. That'll be a dictionary. And then let's say the map is a 32 by 32. That means there's going to be 400 turns. Then we can just continue this. So at 40 by 40, that means it's going to be 425. We have a 48, oops, not 49, 48, which is going to be a 450. Wow, I can't type. I hope this doesn't turn out like yesterday's videos. Anyways, 56 becomes a 475, and finally a 64 is 500 turns. So we could query the game map and we can know, okay, how many turns are there? This way, on the last turn, we could query and say, how much Halite do we have? Does it meet a certain threshold? Yay, nay. If it does, now we'll save the data. So in theory, all of the bots in any given game could hit that threshold, and that would be good. Now, there's a couple of downsides with this. One is each map is seeded randomly. So some maps, if you just look at replays on like halite.io, some maps have an insane abundance of Halite everywhere, especially close to the drop-off. So these games are likely to produce higher Halite numbers because ships didn't have to travel as far to get the bulk of the Halite. Also, it allows you to create many more ships immediately. So this is somewhat problematic. So, maybe there should be some sort of combination of winner and Halite, or maybe ships produced Halite, or even better, some sort of maybe combination of like a percentage of Halite. And I think, like the at least on halite.io, when they visualize it, they do say what percentage of the Halite was collected. And I think instead, probably eventually we'll go that route and get just go based on a threshold of percent collected rather than Halite collected, because that might wind up confusing a model. But for now, what I'd like to do is continue on this little trek that we've got going on. So first of all, we want to set some sort of minimum threshold. So I'm going to say threshold, and let's just say, I don't know, 1,000 halite. I don't think we're going to be able to collect 1,000 halite because it's going to be random, but I just want to set it there just to have a variable there. And then, and in fact, let's call this save threshold. So it will require 1,000 halite. Also, just for now, I'm going to throw in another variable called total turns. So for now, we're going to limit it to 50 turns. Because when you call the halite, command line interface thing, there is a flag for no turn. I think it's turn-limit, and then you could say 50. Let me check real quick and make sure that is true. I think it's turn limit. Yeah, it's just -- turn limit, and then you can set. So it doesn't matter the game size. Turn limit is 50. Now, why do we want to do that? We'd like to do that because the first models are going to be totally random. So the quote-unquote reason why one AI was able to collect 1,000 halite, let's say, and the other one not, when both of them move 100% randomly, is maybe one move out of all of the moves that was made by any one of the ships. So if we allow this to go for 500 freaking turns, the results are probably, it's going to be almost untrainable because the little kernel of what the AI did good during 500 turns is going to be obstructed by insane amounts of noise. So instead, if we can lower the total turn number and then maybe lower the threshold, like 50 turns to collect 1,000 halite is going to be quite challenging. But if we can do that, that would be beneficial. Also, probably save threshold. Maybe we make that, well, because I can't decide what I want to do. If I want to produce all of this shit, because you'll start with 5,000 halite. So, you might want to even save the threshold as 6,000 or, something like that. I can't really decide what I want to do there. Because we're only going to make one, so actually not 6,000, but you'll start with 5,000, you'll make one ship, you'll have 4,000. So let's say anything above 4,000 is good. That means we at least dropped off something. So in theory, we could say the save threshold is 5,000 if we want to collect 1,000. Anyway, we can hash that one out in a little bit, but I'll leave it at 5,000 for now. So, okay. So we've got our save threshold. We've got our total number of turns. Now what we want to do is let's add a max. I keep forgetting my caps lock doesn't work. Max ships equals, let's go with 1 for now. Again, over time we'd like more ships, but just like I was saying before with the total turns, let's just do one ship, and because this model is a ship only model, so it's a very micro model. So we'd like first to train a single ship to do a smart thing, just to see if that can work. This will be the easiest version of this challenge. Eventually, we do need the model to take the other ships into account. So we do need a model that's training on the presence of other friendly ships. That way, if a friendly ship is closer to a bigger plot of halite, we don't waste our time trying to go to that spot because our other ship's probably doing the same thing. Okay, so max ships 1. Let's go ahead and scroll down and fix that. So less than max ships. Okay, so now what we want to do is we will also, rather than np.save here, what I'd like to do is I'm going to comment that out. We're going to come over here and let's make a new directory. And I'm going to call this, not in all caps, I'm going to call this training_data. So this is where all our training data is going to go if we meet a certain threshold. So I'm going to throw another if statement down here. And we're going to say if game.turnNumber equals, what was the thing, Mac? Turns? Total turns? That's got to be it. Total turns. So if that's the case, okay, so if we are on the final turn, because again, our AI does not get information from the game that the game is over. So we have no way of knowing, but we do have a way of knowing what is the final turn, and then we can kind of surmise, okay, it's the end of the game. so if game.turn number equals the total turns, what do we want to do? Well, if me.halite amount is greater than or equal to that save threshold that we set, then we want to save. So let's say np.save. Whoops. And then where do we want to save it? Let's make this an F string again. Training data, right? Training data, yeah. Training data slash, and then let's save it. Let's save it by two variables. Let's say the halite amount, because later we might set an initial threshold, and then suddenly we've got like a freaking ton of games, and then we still might want to like somehow set some sort of limit there. So for now, let's just say me.halite amount. So that'll be the first segment of this file name. So then later we could go in via Python and os.lister or something, and then we could filter by that first thing with just a simple split string by dash, and then get the 0th. Anyways, me.halite amount, and then let's get a int time.time, and that should be fine, but let's go ahead and go down to that like millisecond, just to be certain that it's a unique file and we don't overwrite some other file. But I really think the chance of that would be pretty much none, but okay. And then npy. So also, I'm not sure I've brought in time. I have not. So we shall import time. Now later, total turns, like once we don't set a turn limit, total turns would be equal to, like you'd probably set total turns somewhere down here, like around line 39. We would do len, I think you have game map.width and game map.height, or maybe it's .size. We'll figure that out. So you'd get that number, and then you would say total turns equals that, map settings, that number with the key. So, or as the key. But in this case, we're going to hard code 50 for now because we want the game to stop at 50. Okay. np.save. I think we're all set. So let's go ahead and actually, let me change that save threshold. I feel dirty asking for that. Let's just say the save threshold is 4,050. So anything, I don't even know. I just don't know how many we'll collect at random. So we'll just save it at 4,000. So anything, actually let's do 4,001. Anything, any drop off we are happy with. Okay, and then, okay, secret set choice direction order. So they already move randomly. Am I forgetting anything else, or are we ready to rumble? I think we're ready to rumble. So let's go into the run game. Okay, so now we don't want two versions. This won't cause that same problem as before. The problem before was that like overwrite, because we were using like the same directory, whereas in this case it'll create its own little unique file. Okay, so run game, I kind of got rid of it. Okay, so this is the command to run the game. Now we could just run one game really quickly, like let's make sure it works would be nice. And also, actually, let me just throw in replay directory. Let's just throw in a --turn-limit 50. Okay, copy, save, break that, run it again. Let's see what happens if we hit any errors. Okay, looks good. 0 halite was collected. Let's run it again. Still 0 halite. This could get ugly. Man, no halite, really? I figure, like with random, it can't be that hard to accidentally go left then right, or left, right. Oh wait, oh no. We're hitting an error first of all, and because of that error, we kill the player. I was missing that. So we passed the file name, but not the array. Okay, idiot. Okay. What are we saving here? Surroundings? Surroundings. Yeah. Stupid. Let's try again. There we go. We got some halite. Look at that. Okay, 4034. Let's just run this a couple times. That one got 0 extra halite. Okay, we got like 28 and 6. Ooh, 4099. 4083. It looks like 100 would not be a super challenging threshold to hit. We want something that's challenging, something that's relatively difficult. Maybe 100. Maybe we'll go with 100. Yeah, so we've definitely surpassed 100 there. But I kind of want to go to that second to last replay. So not this one, but this one. Let's look at that, because I'm gonna bet there's like a lot of halite close. But at least while it's random, it may not be the case. It might just be that we got very randomly lucky. But let's just see. Oh, what happened? I just resized it. Are you kidding me? Pew! Oh no, what? Now really what happened? Oh my gosh. Let's see if I can do this. I don't think I can I? I thought that would give me the last one. No, that is the last one. Okay, so at least, yes, in this case, there are some close clusters, but that's not why he did good. He just went down, collected some serious halite there. Oh, but he's already had it at that point. Or so it was the green one. Oops, I was looking at the red guy. So he just goes, collects, and happens to just come up. And then I think he must make another deposit. He does! Yay for a random! Okay, so yeah, that's, we wish he would have collected a little more halite, but hey, this is random. And in 50 steps only, hey, that's a pretty good AI. I mean, that's a pretty good, better than random thing we'd like to mimic. So cool. So that is what we want. So I'm going to say 4100 will be our threshold. And then save that. And then rather than us sitting here manually, we could do like a while loop. Like I think you can do like, what is it? While true, maybe with a capital T here. While true. While, dude, true. And then you do the thing and then you do a done. I think that works. But I'm not going to do that, especially for our sad Linux users. Instead, hey, we can make a Python script. So let's copy, paste. Let's call this run game. And we will open with Sublime Text. And we will get rid of everything. And then what we want to do is we want to simply run a command. Now, trying to get, let's see, run. Because let's see, we probably could get away with os.system should run the command. So let's do import os. We will import secrets. Let's also bring in, we'll set a max turns just to set them for now. We'll say 50. And then we want to have both 2-player and 4-player games. Also, we do want to have varying map size. So actually, let's go ahead and copy map settings. Over here, paste. And then we'll just set a while true loop here. And then, first of all, let's say map size equals secrets dot choice map settings. Print map size. I just want to make sure that that's going to do what we intended. No. Key error 2. Why? I don't know. Can I do? It might be keys or get keys or something. Really? I feel like that should be an acceptable option. What is it? Is it get keys? I'm trying to remember. Dot get keys maybe. Has no attribute. Dot get. So it may be keys. Oh, so. Bro! Why is this so difficult? Get list of keys from dictionary. Thank you, sir. Yeah, dot keys. Okay, so secrets must be trying to index it. So probably what we could say then is list keys. Okay. Hey, look at us. Hacker man. Okay, so now that that's out of the way. Hey guys, check out my basics Python series. Now that that's out of the way, we've got our map size. We've got our max turns. So the next thing will be basically what we want to do is call this turn limit. So let's copy this. Let's say commands. We'll make it a list. And we basically got two versions of this command. And in fact, we need to, we'll get away with just putting it in single quotes. Single quote. So that's one of the options. The other option would be a 4-player game. So copy, come down here, paste, and then we want, why did that happen? We want, basically this doubled. So 4 players, boom, done. Okay, so now, turn limit. Oh, this needs to be an F string. F string. Dude. Okay, then what we want to say is turn limit shall be max turns. I really should have done this before we copied it. That would have made more sense. 40 becomes, what is our map size? Map size. So then I'll just copy, paste, paste, paste. And then we run os dot, oh wait, no. Actually, yeah, we can do this. We'll say, so the command that we want to run, command that we want to run is commands dot, or no, secrets dot choice commands. And then let's just run os dot system command. I'm trying to recall if os.system is going to work anywhere. I think os.system will work even on like Linux and Mac and all that too, right? Like I'm pretty sure that that's like a yeah. So we should get away with os.system on any operating system. If not, check out like subprocess would probably be the next best thing, but this should be fine. So os.system command, and then let's just do like 10. So for I in range 10, let's print I just want to make sure it's working. So let's come into here. I want to delete all of our replays. Be gone. And then I want to go into not gameplay. Actually, we could just delete gameplay. We're not using that anymore. Training data. We'll delete all that. And let's begin. So let's say Python run game.py. Wow, that's a lot of output. It looks like we're running a game though, for sure. Are we getting any training data? Wow, 4370. What? Wow. We got, oh my gosh. That's a lot of Halite, bro. Okay. All right, that appears to work. So rather than for I in range 10, we will say while true. We don't need this anymore. Okay. I'm going to close these and this. So then what we're going to do, let's close this. Oops, we need to back up one. Python run game.py. Come on. I am not in the mood today. All right. And we're off. Okay. Yes, sir. So now we can, you could be running this one, and then we could bop up into here, maybe run another one. Python run game. Okay. And now we are making games. I'm hoping that that's not gonna, like, we might want to like shut up the print statements or like the output. I guess it's actually, I believe the output is actually, is it standard? I think it's like std error that's coming out, but I can't remember. But again, you could probably use subprocess and shut those up. But for now, wow, we've got a lot of training. Wow, 4,400, almost 4,500. So keep in mind, so we already know each of these is 50 steps or 50 turns. We might even decrease the amount of turns, but if we go to calculator, hello, you don't have a calculator? Okay. Whatever. Each one is 50 though. So like, let's say we had, the target is generally 100,000. And then we want to divide by 50. That would mean our target should be approximately 2,000 games to give us 100,000 steps of samples. So at some point, like I would just leave this running like overnight, all day, whatever, run more games simultaneously, however many you can do. I would, but this kind of a CPU hog. Anyway, run a bunch of these, gather a bunch of training samples, about 2,000. Hopefully we can get about 2,000 samples, above like, I don't know, 4,200, 4,300. That'd be pretty nice. Look at this guy. Almost 5,000. He's moving randomly. It's one ship in 50 turns, 1,000 Halite. That is awesome. Okay. Anyway, so I would let these run for a while, and I think I'm going to stop it here and then pick up in the next tutorial where we will take the best of the best, train a model, and then basically we begin our infinitely iterative loop of, train a model on the top Halite threshold, or plausibly some other rules we set, like a percentage Halite collected is probably the more superior route. So maybe it will be the better way to go. Anyway, set some sort of threshold to save by, and just over time, slowly increment that threshold, train a model that met those criteria, increment the threshold, play a bunch of games, train a model, increment the threshold, play a bunch of games. Anyway, repeat that process. Hopefully you understand. Anyway, because I don't know what I'm doing. That's it for now. Questions, comments, concerns, whatever, yeah, feel free to leave them below. Also, there's a Discord channel, discord.gg/centdex will get you there. Otherwise, I will see you guys later in another video where we train an amazing model built completely off of random movements. See you there. Actually, hold on. It just clicked. I want to make absolutely certain before I leave this that our size, how big were we working? Where is it? Oh, 16. Whew. Because I want to be able to use the like MobileNet and I think Inception v3 and those things. The minimum size is 32, so we'd have to pad and stuff, and I don't want to do that. Okay, also, sorry, I know I said we were leaving. I feel bad for the people who like click off at the ends of videos, and then we get back and there's like new things that they've never seen. Let's call this I hate to call it radius. It's not really radius. I don't know. Site distance equals 16. Copy that. Come down here, paste, good, save. I kind of want to confirm that that worked. So I'm going to break, run game, cool. Also, just out of curiosity, how many training files do we have yet? 197, so it definitely should not be challenging to meet the 4,000 threshold. I think that was our threshold, right? 4,000? Oh no, 4,100. So definitely not a challenge to meet that. It'll only take like, I don't know, 20 minutes probably. So maybe 4,200, 43, 45, somewhere around there, we will set a limit. Anyway, yep, clearly working. Cool. All right. I will see you guys in the next video. Just kidding. We really need to stop meeting like this. But of course, that is not going to work. So, so I was really looking over all this stuff, and I realized I've made an egregious mistake. And what we've done is basically we've made a couple of mistakes. One is we're not saving the entire game's worth of data. We're only saving the final surrounding image. Also, we are not saving the move associated. So we need to do two things. We need to save the entire game and every move associated with every frame. So as sucky as that was, forget that. Let me just add that in really quickly. So basically what we're going to do is we actually okay, so we'll take this direction order. That actually doesn't need to be where it is, so I'm going to put it up here. There's no need to have it defined every time. It's the same. Then what we need is we're going to have a training underscore data, and this is what's going to contain every single frame, every single move for the entire game, and if we meet a certain threshold, that's what we want to actually save. So then we're going to come all the way down to where we actually make our move. So in this case, append ship move secrets. Okay, so what we really want to say is we want to say something like choice equals secrets dot choice, and then let's say for the range len of direction order. So basically, it's going to be a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. 5 options for this prediction. So that's going to be the choice that we make. And I'm trying to think. I don't think that's going to cause trouble later. I'm a little curious due to the way that we're going to actually train this model if it would make a difference. I don't think it will, but we can train later. But anyways, with TF-Learn, you can train with scalars rather than one-hot vectors. You can pass those in. I think behind the scenes, it just does like a quick operation to convert it to a one-hot for you. I don't think it actually matters that much. But anyways, we'll say that. So that's the choice that we want to make. Then what we want to say is a frozen. Oh, okay. Thanks, virtual machine. Hopefully it'll come back. Basically, what we want to say is we want to append our the surrounding data and that specific move to training data, and then at the very end, that's when we want to save it. Hello. All right. As soon as I stop the recording, it comes back. Awesome. Okay. Training data. Then we want to append surroundings and the choice that we make, and hey, let's make it pep8. Okay, so then what we want to do is so in this case here we actually want to say direction order choice instead. So move direction underscore order choice, and then at the very end, down here, if we want to save it, what we want to save is training data rather than just the surroundings. Okay, let's save that. Let's come back up into one of these. Also, I just renamed this old. This is now an empty directory. Rerun it. Hopefully everything works. Immediately, at least we've got a game. Cool. And now let me just copy this, come into back over here. Let me go into testing grounds, Sublime Text, import numpy is np, n equals np.load, and then let's print n0. Go. Oops. What we want is training data slash. You little. Okay. Next. There we go. Okay. So now we have the visual. Now we have the choice. Okay. Now this is the data that we want to train against. Unfortunately, I'd actually built quite the large. I had it running for like 6 hours. I came back and then it like hit me and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I was like, I remembered that I probably saved it as surroundings rather than actually built the training data with targets and all of it. That was quite the heart-sinking moment. Okay, anyways, now we are going to build the training data. It is going to hopefully not take too long. Wow, look at this. We've almost already got a 5K game. Incredible. Anyway, now I will see you in the next video.